All right, welcome everyone to our session here. This is the Sales Edge and Business Chat Room. We're doing Facebook Live as well as a podcast. My name is Chris, and I want to welcome everyone here to our session this evening. And we're doing this weekly. We're going to be talking about sales and business topics. We might talk about a couple of my rants and a couple pet peeves here and there. But we're mainly going to be talking about sales and business. How do we get better? What can we do to increase our results? So I'll start this way. And I started my company in 1998 in San Diego, California, and there were many things that I had to learn in order for my company to reach 22 years now, or actually almost 23. So the first thing that I want to share with you is that we don't need to be great to start. We need to start to be great, and I'll share it in an example or an analogy with you this way. So we all have plans, especially during this time period, right? These uncertainty, economic challenges, restrictions that we have wherever we may be, right? And we have plans that if let's say you're in business, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you're a sales and marketing professional, you're an independent representative, a professional agent, whatever your situation is. We have plans to implement the skills that we need to learn, right? And sometimes learning can be overwhelming. Learning, especially a new skill that maybe we think we don't have the aptitude for it, or maybe it's something that we've never done. And I have several coaching groups going on right now. We have a 6-week program, a very specified agenda in these 6 weeks. All right. So what we got to do in these 6 weeks? And I've got 4 groups going on at roughly the same time. Each group has about 20 people, and it might sound like it's a lot, and it is. Usually, I try to keep the groups a little bit smaller, but in this case, we need to go for to help as many people as we can. So I have my students right now in the 4 groups, coaching groups, and it's a 6-week program. So in these 6 weeks, what we got to do is we need to create a database list, because we all got to go online, right? We got to create a database list. We have to have an autoresponder mechanism, and we got to have a landing page in order to attract the leads and prospects to give us the name, the contact info, the email, whatever the case is, right? So we use a platform. It's a platform that I've been using for probably about 4 or 5 years. Before that, I used another platform. I was paying about almost $300 US a month. I started using that platform right about 2007, maybe right around there. So I've been using that for about 10 years, paying 300 USD a month. And back in 2007, this platform was very new, and it was so hard learning how to use it. Not only learning how to use it, but also to implement all the little details and the structures and the flows and the platforms and all the techniques and strategies. So I came across another platform several years ago. It was right about 15 plus minus US dollars a month. And so I switched over to that. And that was another learning curve. So this is the platform that I'm teaching my coaching groups right now. So, we got to know how to create a database list. We got to know how to create the autoresponder. We got to know how to create the landing page. And of course, the landing, those things by itself are skills in of themselves. And so the challenge is like sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes it's like it can get so frustrating when we're learning a skill and we're trying to use it, and we're trying to implement it, and maybe we're not technical people, maybe we're not graphic designers, but we have to learn certain skills. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a professional, we need to have these skills nowadays. And so um, we got to have these skills now. And of course, when we learn the skills, we got to practice it, we got to implement it, we got to make it effective. Whatever platform you're using, whatever method you're using, we need to know how to implement it, how to make it effective. Uh, and the bottom line is we got to generate leads, right? We got to generate leads. We got to generate quality leads, qualified leads, interested leads, and then we have to convert them into paying customers. Because the lifeblood of any business, whether you're on your own or you're with a team, whether you are the owner, whether you're the manager or you're the individual professional rep, you need to know that sales is the lifeblood of any business. Okay, and without sales, without revenue, everything dries up. The reason we're in business is, we talk about the causes, we talk about, oh, we want to help and we want to make things better. Yes, I agree with all those things, but let's be a little mercenary, in this discussion. The mercenary part is that we we want to make we want to make revenue, we want to earn money, right? So forget about all those things. All right. Okay. Let me rephrase. I'm not asking you to forget about those things. I want to focus on bringing the revenue in, talking about the sales techniques, talking about the sales strategies, right? Because if we can do all these things, then we have cash flow, we have revenue, we have profits, we have money coming in, and then we can do all the things that we want to do. We want to go and help. We want to do charity work. We want to take care of ourselves. We want to take care of our family, whatever those reasons are. Okay. So most often, the comments I hear are, "Oh, I'm dizzy with the information," or "I'm not a techie. I'm not a designer, right? My head is spinning. Okay, I don't know how to do this. I need help, right? Uh, there's too many things for me to do. I'm not familiar with this, and whatever the excuse is, here's what I'll say: you got to do it. And I was talking to a couple of them this afternoon, and I said, hey, you know what? At the end of the 6 weeks, what we want to do is we want to be able to fly, right? We want to be able to fly. So if we cannot fly, if we cannot fly, then we run. If we cannot run, then we walk. If we cannot walk, then we got to crawl. All right. The point is you got to keep moving. You got to keep moving forward, and I'll be there for my groups. I'll be there to guide and push and encourage. But you also need to understand that if you don't have someone guiding and pushing you and coaching you and prodding you along, you got to do it yourself. You have to do it yourself. There's many things that I've been able to learn and implement over the last 20 some years. And one of the things that I often share is that first of all, well, everybody started somewhere. Everybody started from zero, and we learned, right? And we implemented, and we got better, and we expanded ourselves. Okay. One of the things that I learned about myself very, very early on is that I didn't have a lot of talents. And when we talk about being in business, being in sales, we have clients in about 14 countries. Uh, we have representation in three different countries. Okay, my headquarters is in the U.S. We have an office in Malaysia, and we're starting up one very, very soon. It was supposed to be in 2020, but in 2021, hopefully, right? Hopefully, we'll be able to start up our office in the Philippines. So, you know, uh, one of the things that I always share is that I don't have a lot of talent. In fact, I'm probably one of the most untalented people that you may have come across. What I do have though is I have a self-realization that I need to get skills. I need to develop skills, and I need to get good at those skills. All right. When we talk about selling, what are the skills that we talk about? We talk about, how do you prospect? How do you present yourself? How do you do a persuasive sales presentation? How do you cold call? How do you generate leads? How do you use digital sales funnels? How do you use different marketing techniques? And the one of the courses I put out is how to use cold calling effectively. A lot of gurus, right? They say, "Oh, cold calling is dead. It's ineffective. It's a waste of time," and they say that because they don't know how to do it the right way. They don't have a system. They don't have a structure. If you have a system and you have a structure, it's effective. I've been doing it for over 20 years. I do it even till now, till today. I still cold call for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours a day. And there's techniques and there's skill in that. And for me, in my opinion, it's a lost skill because a lot of people have kind of gravitated towards the social media, the Facebook, the LinkedIn. Hey, you know what? I do all those things too, and you should as well. All right. But not many people. First of all, not many people cold call. Not many people, even less, know how to cold call. Even less know how to cold call effectively and consistently and get results. Okay. So when we talk about talent, cold calling for me is not a talent; it's a skill. It's one of the things that I dislike to do. Picking up that phone and getting rejected. One after the other. Oh, and we'll talk about cold calling in future sessions. If you get in touch with me, I'll send me your email. You can put it in the comment. You can use the comments below. Send me your email, and I'll send you a couple free gifts. All right, and I'll put up a QR code. When we're closer to the end of this session, so that you can scan it and um, get in touch with me. We got a couple comments here on the couple questions. Okay, let me just take a quick look at those. And yes, we got someone here that says, yeah, use Get Response. Yes, that's exactly the tool that we use. It's actually simple yet strong enough and robust enough to be able to handle the things that we need to do as far as prospecting, digital funnel, sales funnel. Another comment here is that yes, people are scared of scammers nowadays. Yes, correct. But it's in the way that you present yourself. The a little side here since that comment came up. What is the difference between a sales professional and a scammer? Okay, the only difference is the scammer has nothing, has air. It's not selling anything, right? That's why they're called scammers. But the skills are similar, right? They have to prospect, they have to be persuasive, they have to build rapport, they have to give a good presentation, they have to hit the emotions, they have to handle objections, and they have to close. They have to close the deal. So, we'll talk about that on another session because I got so many opinions on that part. So the what we need to do is we need to develop the skills, and it's going to take time to develop the skills. Now here's the nice part, the interesting part. If you can develop your skills, you practice it and you implement it, you're going to be so much better than your competition, because your competition, more often than not, if you're not listening to me and your competition is not listening, let me rephrase that. If you're listening to me, or someone that can teach you how to sell better, and generate leads and generate revenue, and your competition is not, they don't know what to do. So learn these things, practice it, get good at it, build your skills, and take action every single day. You see, when we're learning new things, I in my groups I have very successful business owners, very successful entrepreneurs prior to 2020. All right, so even if you're world class, even if you're highly successful, sometimes external factors, which we've all experienced, right, in the last year, thereabouts. It's challenging to stay in the game because sometimes we get knocked off our feet, whether it's a new regulation, whether it's a health issue, a pandemic crisis, or the economy, whatever it is, things happen that knock us off our feet, and how we bounce back is predicated on the skills that we have and the skills that we're willing to learn and the action that we take every day. Now, even if you're world class, if you want to stay at the top of the game, you gotta improve yourself. You gotta learn things. You gotta relearn things. You gotta practice. You gotta implement. All right. When I was in the U.S., I coached world class athletes and sports figures. Now I wasn't coaching them in fitness, right? I wasn't coaching them on how they can swing the bat a little bit better. But one of the athletes I was coaching was actually the national cycling team. The cycling team from Mexico. Because I was in San Diego, and one of my friends was friends with the coach over there, and he told the coach, "Hey, you know what? Maybe your guys need to have a conversation with Chris." Now, I don't speak Spanish, and these guys, they were from Mexico. They spoke some English, but it was a language barrier. So it was a lot of hand gestures and translations. So the things that I share, they actually transcend race, culture, language, all those things, because the principles are the principles. So um, they uh, participated in a lot of major races. Like I said, they were the cycling team of Mexico. So like I said, like I'll mention this again. I did not coach them on cycling or how to pedal or that kind of strategy. What I coached them on was how to ignore the pain. How to ignore the pain when you've gone, you know, kilometer or a mile or 10 or 15 or 20. How do you ignore the pain? How do you ignore the fatigue? And how do you ignore the constant internal conversation in your mind that's telling you, you know what, this hurts, just give up, it's too hard. I remember they came to my office in San Diego. We all sat on the floor, in a huge circle, and then I was just talking to them about how to block that out. Okay, and I don't remember if they won any medals in the Olympics. I really don't, but they performed a lot better. I had some kind of reception with them after all of that. This was back in the late 2000s, and they told me that the pain was still there, the internal conversation was still there, the fatigue was still there, but they were able to stretch it just a little bit more. Okay, and if we take that and apply it to our profession and our business, there's going to be some days where we wake up and we say, ah, you know what, I don't feel like doing that, right? I don't feel like getting up. It's going to be a tough day. There's no prospects in my pipeline. The people I'm calling, they're not returning my call. Okay, you're going to have days like that. Even though you have days like that, you got to remember, we're in challenging times right now. What are you going to do? You're just going to give up, right? So the challenging times, okay, we got to learn, we got to implement, we got to practice, we got to take action every single day, okay? And you got to remember this. You got to remember that it's always hard. It's always harder before it gets easier, okay? It's always harder before it gets easier, okay? And with that, I want to share with you, one of the well, my final thought for this evening. Well, before I do that, I want to stress how important it is. Don't give up. I want to stress that you got to learn. If there's something that you lack, and you realize that you lack a certain skill, go and learn, and go and learn from somebody that's doing it, right now, somebody that's doing it every single day. Don't scroll on Facebook and come across an ad, and some guy is saying, hey, you know what, join my this and it's free, and then they hit you with a 5,000, $10,000 course that that doesn't work. All right. So learn from someone, get books, join programs, learn from someone that's doing it every day right now, and learn from someone that is teaching others, and others are having, similar results. Okay. So that's what I want you to be aware of. All right. And a lot of us say that, okay, times are a little challenging right now. We got to work harder. We got to work longer. We're facing more rejection because people are scared to put money in. I'll share this with you. Okay, buyers are always buying, and sellers are always selling. So what does that mean? What that means is, whatever your product or your service is, maybe the customer base has gone down, your prospects have gone down, whatever it is, there is somebody that needs to buy what you're selling. Okay, somebody has a problem that you can solve. What you got to do is you got to go and find them. And I'll leave you with this final thought here, for this evening. When you want something bad enough, you're going to make the time for it. Okay. Maybe you wake up an hour earlier, or you take a quicker lunch, or you finish up an activity, or you give up watching TV or Netflix or playing a game, and nourish your mind. All right, nourish your mind with a proper program. Nourish your mind with reading books. There's tons of books out there that can help you. All right. When I started my journey in entrepreneurship, I looked for people that were successful, and I talked to them. I asked them questions, and they pointed me towards certain books, and I got those books, and I read voraciously. Not only did I read the books, but I thought of how do I apply it to my business, and then I implemented it and tried it out, and then made adjustments so that it worked for me. Okay, so when you want something bad enough, you will make the time for it, right? Some of us say, "Oh, I don't have the time to do this." You know what? Then make the time. Give up something. Give up watching TV for a little bit. Give up playing your game for a little bit. Maybe wake up half an hour earlier. All right, and make the time for it. Stop giving excuses. Stop giving excuses, and stop, giving reasons on why you cannot chase your dreams, and you cannot accomplish your goals. Okay. So with that, I want to thank you for taking the time, and taking a listen to this. And I'll put something on the screen right now. Uh, if you look at the QR code on the screen, all you got to do is scan it, and I'm going to give you a couple free gifts. The free gifts is a book that I wrote on sales. All right, I wrote it in 2006, and we sold probably 13, 14,000 copies, and I would like to give it to you for free. There's no shipping or anything like that, right? You just scan the QR code, give me your name and your email, and I'll send it out immediately to you. I'll send it out immediately to you in a PDF format. Okay, so I would like to give that to you. So with that, I want to thank you for taking some time out and sharing the time with me. And this is our very first session, on this format. And I will be sharing ideas, tips, and strategies on a weekly basis, at this same hour, this same day, and this same time. So I want to thank everyone for paying attention. Um, and from the bottom of my heart, I want to let you know that you are capable of more. Everybody is capable of more.